Evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live.
Godfather is in kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun kẹ́gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun today. Thank you so much for joining me again as, for the second time today, I would say. Read the caption of the broadcast this evening.
Facebook.
The description of the broadcast as well.
And yes,
like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. From what I have for you this evening, there are statements, right, from some unscrupulous element that are actually representing that contraption. From the zoo army, as some of my pals would love to call them. Nigerian army are now engaging in a social media spat with Asari Dokudambu, a supposed ally of theirs. And then I am going to play back to you what Asari said, and then what is the response of the supposed Nigerian army. Remi Werepe, Remi Ahmed, Tifnumbu Rats. She has kind of come out to say, listen, I know a lot of you are going crazy right now in this contraption. But my husband is not responsible for your sufferings or your hardship. And you should take care of your mental health as well. And you can give him extra 2 more years. Share it. Thank you, Mutide. And sorry for the late start again, right? So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. So this afternoon, the Nigerian army, sort of, because this is their spokesperson. Remember that video of Asari Dokudambu, right? Where he said the Nigerian army sent 2 gun chopper, 2 helicopters to his house, hovering over his house because of the River State election, local government elections. And then he bragged that he's got what it takes. He has the capacity, that the Nigerian army knows that he has the capacity to face them, that they shouldn't provoke him. Let me play you that video. It was all in response to what he said, the overbearing attitude, the overzealous act of that of Werewike on that fateful day. Do you remember this?
Our people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As we are talking,
with the video, as I said in the video,
weakest soldiers, weakest police, whoever, had been flying over my house and my compound in the last 30 minutes with 2 helicopter gunships. I have the capacity to contain them. Nigeria cannot surrender to Wiki. Rivers people will not surrender to Wiki. Ijaw people will not surrender to Wiki. I have the capacity to contain them. And the government knows that I have the capacity to contain them. As I've been containing other people. Let them tell Wike to back off. I am 60 years old. I've never been afraid of death. I've always embraced death. I'd always embraced death. So I am not afraid of death. So all those who are there, when the helicopter is shot down, let nobody blame them. I didn't go and look for the helicopter to shoot them down. I will shoot down the helicopter. I will shoot down the helicopter. I swear by Allah that I will shoot down the helicopter. Whoever is commanding them should be warned that I will shoot the helicopter down. Enough is enough. That Tinubu will hand over River State into slavery. The Wike is nobody. Without this panafilano, it's nobody. Wike is nobody. Let them remove this thing from him now. I think he has billions. He knows the market. He has bought guns for his men. Let them remove this thing from him. And let us see. Go and vote. I will go and vote. I will vote and you see me vote. Nothing will happen. We vote. Result will be announced. Chairman will be sworn in. And we will see. Chairman will be sworn in. And we will see. I don't want to talk too much.
Because it is what Nigeria has become. He happened to be a former terrorist, something that a typical Niger Deltan will always kind of disagree with me on, or they always do. Don't say that. They are militant. They are not terrorists. Everybody that raises up arm in a normal country, sure you get, against the state, right? What they call them is non-state actors, right? And they are the local terrorists. In Niger Delta, a group of these kind of people like Asari and many like that, in 2000 and I think it was in 2008, sorry, 2007, around that time, they became very prominent in Nigeria, where local politicians harmed some young people. Like then, Asari was younger than this. I think he was probably in his early 40s. Maybe he was around 39, 40. No, it should be somewhere around 35, 36. Asari Dokudom. This Asari that is now like older guy is approaching his 60 now, right? So then Asari should be around, no, it should be around 35, 36. Yeah, somehow. And there are many like that. So their grievances at the time was that they were exempted from the proceed, but they are exempted from enjoying the proceed of their God-given resources. That's the crude oil. Listen to this very well. So because of that, for them to have share of that, they harmed themselves. The difference between them and the terrorists we later come to know in Nigeria is that they usually target the oil companies in their region. They would, before then, normally, they will go to all these oil companies. They will go and collect what is called security money from them. So the oil companies will just give them some peanuts. So yeah, take settlement money. That's what they were living off. Until when I can't remember the story of how they were taken to Abuja in 2003, or maybe 2003 or 2004. So they were taken to Abuja And when they saw Abuja for the first time they all left Niger Delta. Some of the young people. So they were told that I'm going to see this Abuja now. Oil money that take build them. What? Well, Asari Dokuba actually told me that himself though, because he used to be my friend. You don't think? So Asari Dokuba said that when they got to Abuja, as young people then, not these older guys now, they didn't have this much money then. They were so shocked. So they used oil money to build this Abuja. And we are living in Creek, we are living in squalor, in poverty. So when they returned back to the Creek, they kind of did their usual youth meeting because they have no job, no, proper education, no guarantee for the future, no nothing. They were just existing there like the normal Agbiru that you stay in Lagos, collecting money, rent fee, like, we're older. If you don't give us money, you don't go pump oil this year, this today. So back then, Obasanjo, who sort of militarized the Niger Delta region, provided security for the oil companies. So the soldiers were always there. Then the local politicians, right, decided to harm them properly. So what they now did was like from junction, base by base, junction from Bayelsa to Port Harcourt, from Port Harcourt to Akwa Ibom, from there to, all these areas, Sha. And Asari is from River State, okay? So he was able to put together his own guys too. Then, boom, when majority of them returned from Abuja, they formed their different groups and they just became notorious. Now, Asari happened to be one of the guys who was like slightly educated than others. So that gave him a leverage to be a spokesperson for some of them. But he's not as notorious as some of the deadliest, cultists and all that in Niger Delta at the time. So they started kidnapping the oil expatriates for money. They no longer wanted security money from them. Like, okay, just give them 200,000 naira. Oh, once they come, right, give them 500,000 naira. They will be fine. So they didn't want that anymore. They wanted part of the share of that money. Go, 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 go. This time around, they would come on boats, right? They will come on boats. Different. They can come on like about a wooden boat with a speed machine attached. They will come on the boat like about 20, 15 boats. 15. So they will take some of the oil expatriates. They will take them hostage. In the process, so they killed civilians too. There were times that it was like a full day gunshot, gunfire, like war in the creek where some innocent people actually took bullets back then. But it wasn't like what you had later, where people would just go out and kidnap people for money that you have in Nigeria. And I know their own targets were the expatriates. They will go on and just shut down the oil flow. Those pipeline taking crude oil from Niger Delta. They will just bomb it. It will take months to repair. So when Obasanjo, who was a soldier, his own effort was that I will deal with you. So Obasanjo now invited them to Abuja. Sorry that I'm giving you the backstory so that you can know the origin of Asari and some of these guys and why I call them terrorists. Back then, we didn't call them terrorists. They called them Niger Delta militants. So, Nigeria is a place where the media will give the name. So once the media give a name, now you have to wait. That name the media gives them will determine if they are dangerous in your book or not. It is like the terrorists you have in northern Nigeria today that they are called, they are calling them bandits. Now the media, they always give them name. Once they give them name, they will now kind of get some different stories to patch it. But all of them are politically sponsored. It's also like the unknown government you have in eastern Nigeria today that they are attaching to IPOB. They are also politically sponsored by politicians, right? Similarly, the Fulani terrorists that they call bandits, they are politically sponsored by politicians. The Boko Haram terrorists, they are also politically sponsored by politicians. The backstory. So yeah, Asari and gang, right? They were invited to Abuja by Obasanjo in 2006 or thereabouts. They're okay, yeah, come, let's do peace meeting. Stop all this blowing of oil installation, destroying all this and kidnapping of expatriates. So when they kidnap expatriates, they will collect ransom. Ransom money, Like the same way these terrorists today will kidnap people for money. Asari and gang were doing the same thing. Once they kidnap all these oil expatriates or oil workers, they will take them straight into the creek, into the deep jungle of water. You know, in northern part of Nigeria, they have Sambisa. In the Niger Delta region, it's called the creek. People live on water where Nigeria didn't have equipment to pursue them. Once they grab anyone or group of people, they just spill straight into the creek. Inside, go inside. So negotiation will start. So once they pay the ransom, $2 million. How much do you want? $5 million. Some of these expatriates were like Americans, Italians, British, and all these Europeans, some of them. They were paying the ransom. That's how some of them make their money. Tompolo, Asari, that they actually made so much money, right? So Obasanjo, who wanted to use military, whatever, to tackle them, now said, okay, you know what? I'm going to invite all of you to Abuja for peace talk. So when Obasanjo sent the presidential jet to go and bring Asari and everybody, all the militants who is ready to talk, they took them to Abuja. They lodged them in the best hotel in Abuja. I think it was a Transport Hilton in Abuja. Presidential suits, all of them. Like, from the creek to this porch. So Obasanjo didn't see them. For like a whole week, they enjoyed themselves. They were like, so they said, oh, sorry, Obasanjo is not around. He will come back later. So we have to reschedule this meeting. So that was just to kind of make them lose guard. So they returned them back to Niger Delta. So temporary peace was kind of negotiated. A month after that, Obasanjo said, okay, he's back now. He's ready to have the meeting with them, to come and listen to them. What did they want? So immediately they said, Obasanjo is calling you. This time they didn't send presidential jet. He just gave them tickets. The airplane ticket that, okay, see, move to Port Harcourt. From Port Harcourt, they will lift you to Abuja. They were expecting to go and meet Obasanjo in Aso Rock. As they landed in Abuja, from there, they handcuffed all of them straight Kuje prison. That was how Asari Dokubo. If you remember that picture, if you go online, you see a picture where Asari was doing like a militant, wearing beret, raising up his hand like he's fighting for human rights. No, that was the picture. So immediately landed in Abuja, they handcuffed all of them straight to Kuje prison. And that was where Asari spent the next 8 or so months. By the time they will release them, Obasanjo has managed temporary peace. He has managed to secure the Niger Delta. But it was just like a piece of the graveyard. By the time Yar'Adua came in, he decided to negotiate what they call the amnesty deal. Right? The amnesty deal, plus the ransom money that they've been paying them, gave Asari Tompolo. And there's another one called the Boy Loaf. I can't remember all their names. There are many like that. So you get, he gave them so much money that Asari has so much money. He opened a university in Benin Republic, private university. That's the story of Asari Dokudom. That's how he made his money. That's how he became a gun runner that you see today. Now, when Yar'Adua came and gave them amnesty, they said, if you don't want to be a militant anymore, why, if you want to go to school, because you didn't have a chance of going to school, that's why you joined this militancy. Some of them took up the advantage. They went to school. Some of them went back to school, and they are doing well. We see those ones who really enjoy that money of oil bunkering, other things. Here you get, they went back to the creek. And they continue to do their oil bunkering, stealing of crude oil, stealing of this. And they said, how can we be stealing our own resources? Now we get them. How can you say we are stealing it? Asari, as one of others, right, decided to maintain his own little political exposure that is enjoyed, right, by trying to be friends with whoever is in government. So that I could get a contract like the Tompolo, get a contract like private security. Let us be protecting the pipelines from those who are going to be vandalizing them, so that government can sign contracts and give us. Unfortunately, under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, right, he did not enjoy same. Here you get, Tompolo was a little bit smarter. I don't know if it's smartness or connection. However, Asari continued to enjoy the amnesty money they paid to him because of the names of those he gave as his own followers. And he continued to enjoy that here today. or even more now that he's been able to sign or go into some private security deal. In 8 years of a Bokwari, he was collecting amnesty money, and he was also getting some little gig from Bokwari that were like not made open. Tompolo on his own, that will continue to get the pipeline contracts. Meanwhile, he's also the chief oil bunkerer, the people stealing the crude oil, guiding those who are stealing the crude oil in the Niger Delta. So if you are not on the list of people that should be stealing crude oil, Tompolo and Co. will come after you, and they will use you to show that they are working. So Nigeria government handed over the entire region to these guys. Okay? So the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian NSCDC and the rest of them who are being paid by Nigeria, right? They are just there to watch. That is why today you will see that those involved in oil bunkering, stealing of crude oil in Niger Delta, they are the Navy, Army, and others like that. While the supposed militant, repentant, they are the repentant militants. So the idea of terrorist repenting, the repentant terrorist, that idea came from these Niger Delta guys. So when Asari said, Nigerian Army knows that he has the capacity, here you get, he is not lying. Or at the same time, whatever capacity they think they have, Baba, this guy have their own gunboat, but Asari doesn't really have the, the ammunition like that of Tompolo. Tompolo is like a whole battalion on his own. Do you understand? It's like a terrorist that got legitimized. Okay? So he's got his own island. They tried to kill him a few times and he's killed so many soldiers, so many Nigerian army. He's killed, somebody like Tompolo, they have murdered so many Nigerian army, so many security guys, to the point that they are better left. And they've killed his own followers too. This guy have his own, like it takes delivery of his own weapons. And Nigeria government gave him that pass. He's got a gunboat. He's got his own choppers who can parade the entire creek. He's got, then he transformed into a security outfit, private security that gets over 4 billion naira a month contracts from the federal government of Nigeria. Now, Nigeria Navy, who was supposed to be most equipped than any militant, they are not the one protecting the waters of Niger Delta as we speak. They are not the ones protecting the pipelines. And these guys, they do the job. Because according to them, they know the creek better than the Nigerian government. So just give them the contracts. So when Asari made that statement that they sent a gunship to be hovering over his house, and they know that I have the capacity. I have the capacity. I don't know if he has the capacity, and I'm not going to underrate him. Here you get. But if Natompolo come and said, I have the capacity to take on, well, I'm not going to doubt him. No, I won't. I have actually seen documentary. Today, Tompolo is a king. He created his own China Calabari or something. He has a name. The name of his own community is a king there now. Like somebody who they believe has gone legit. But the Nigerian army disagrees with Asari. So this clown that is always wearing a Stevie Wonder shade inside the house, the spokesperson of the army, responded to Asari. That's why I called it. I called them the Zoo Army. This is Nigeria.
Comments by some individuals.
Take it on. God bless you. You know these guys. I don't forget some of their names. They don't come to they are no longer like coming to the news. Now, this Asari, they cause nuisance. You barely hear these guys. I take it Tom, Boy Loaf, something Boy Loaf, Tompol. These guys, right? These days, you barely see them in the news. Now, only this Asari, they turn on the ring lights and the camera, and it's always there. Talk, like that. I do like his talk because it kind of cracks me up sometimes, though, right? Now, look at the Nigerian army responding to him.
Comments by some individual that they can shoot down the helicopter of the military. I think that's laughable. In fact, I'm about to laugh about that. And I say that because, we're in a democracy and we are a professional force. We cannot just based on somebody's comments begin to do certain things and then they will now accuse the military of being undemocratic. The military is not the only security agency, force, or department in the country. There are other security forces who have a role to play constitutionally when it comes to some of these issues. But I tell you that he doesn't have that capability. He's just blabbing. But I will allow the security forces that are responsible for handling such cases to take up the matter. Ours is come on the back